We are recording.
Yep.
And, okay, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Digital to Dice podcast. I am Dave.
I'm Ron.
And Ron, we got episode 141 today.
Wow.
I think this is June 30th, so next month is going to be a 3-year. Is it a 3-year anniversary?
Third year, yeah, 3-year anniversary. We started in 2019.
So we've done 3 full years of this show.
We've done 3 full years, and that's pretty much not quite 50 a year, obviously. We're taping, I think we got 2 more weeks before that, so we'll have done 143 episodes in 3 years. That's pretty gosh darn good.
Yeah, we missed 2 or 3. We're weekly for the most part, but we might miss 2 or 3 weeks.
Around the holidays, we'll miss a couple of weeks.
Holidays, one of us gets sick or I get busy at work.
That's about it.
Yeah.
I think we just, for 143 out of 156, yeah, we've only missed 13 weeks in 3 years.
Yep, not too bad at all.
Not too bad at all.
Yeah, so ways to get a hold of us here on the show. Digitaltodice.com is the website. 978-751-DICE is the dice line. 978-751-3423. Send us a text. Digitaltodice@yahoo.com is the email. And over on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/digitaltodice. And today we're going to be talking about rare plays. And we got a whole bunch of responses from Facebook that we got when we put out some feelers about what you guys thought about rare plays. So we'll read some of those and we'll add our comments to those as well.
I wonder if anyone's going to feel that the way that I do about them.
I wonder because I'm dying to know. I am dying to know what you think.
Sure you are.
Just saying. So we have a new addition to the Digital to Dice household over here.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
She's a sweetie.
Yeah, the wife adopted a dog.
We have room for you with Emily in her room when you're thrown out.
Yeah. She started, she was babysitting a small little Chihuahua. This thing's the size of a
Is that a Chihuahua?
I think so. It's the size of a Gatorade bottle, like a handheld one.
I was trying to explain her to Sarah today, my wife.
She looks like a mogwai. She's got these huge ears. Like, don't feed them after midnight type of thing.
Oh, a gremlin.
Yeah, gremlin, yeah. And she's got the tan, she looks like a cow with, like, the tan patches on her. And she's just a character, and she's an older dog. And the lady that we were watching, she was watching her from, she's just like, you want to keep her? I'm like, wow. It's like, yeah, she ain't going back. Not if that's your attitude.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's perfect, absolutely perfect.
So she takes her to work, and it's the office dog, and she's a character, and people like seeing her, and it just puts smiles on people's faces, and so that's good because I don't have to deal with 2 dogs during the day. I just have to deal with molt number 1. So, but it's been interesting. They get along pretty well in the whole bit, and but she's so small. It's like we have to put little stools everywhere so she can get up on the couch and things like that. But it's
thing. Dogs get along.
Sometimes, they've been fine. They've been cats don't get along. Yeah,
we tried a second cat. Now it did not help.
Oh, you told me that story. That was a bad story.
That my dad died about a week into it, and so my wife and I were just really not in any place to be doing this to begin with. And the other cat, we have. If you've watched my stuff, you've seen Emily.
Yep.
My cat. And I'm her human. Yeah. And so she's actually 11 on Monday.
Wow.
So we tried this about 5 years ago. And this other cat was supposed to be 2 and an indoor-outdoor cat. This cat was 3, another alpha cat, and pretty much outdoor only. And no. And it takes a lot to put cats together. You really need 2 non-disabled adults, the one to be with the cat in one room and the other, and it just...
We had brother and sister cats when we were young, and they didn't get along. In the middle of the night, they'd be fighting each other. It's like, what are you guys doing? It's midnight.
When it's Emily's turn, to go to the Great Cat Box in the Sky, we'll get siblings. So we'll start with two that know each other.
That's the better way to go. Yeah, they grow up together.
They grow up together, but this was,
Yeah, that was a terrible story. So needless to say, cut into some of my game playing time, but not all of it. I've been still playing a little bit here. Let's see. I went back to Hockey Bones. I finished the stats up. I think I'm through 11 or 12 games right now. So I inputted all the stats into the Strat Hockey Utility Program. So I got really nice stats so far for the Bruins in that 92-93 Hockey Bones replay. It's just I kept screwing up inputting the stats because I was tired. And you really got to pay attention. I like to have the shots by period and the goals by period. I want everything to be nice,
right?
And I was forgetting to change the period, and I'd have to start over again because I had all the shots in the first period, and so several times I had to start over. I was like, okay, I got to really focus on doing this. But once you get them in, it's kind of nice. So I went back to that, and you remember we talked about that game I had that I was almost threw the dice around because the rolls were just so one way.
Yes.
This game against the Rangers, it starts off with a face-off win. The puck goes to Adam Graves. He gets a shot. The first shot of the game is in range, and he scores. 14 seconds in. I go, here we go again. That was my first reaction. Here we go again. I took a week and a half break from this game because I was so mad. And the first roll of the game, I'm right back into the muckety-muck. And then what happened after that? They went, 14 to 15 tries and nothing in range, and the Bruins scored 2, and things balanced out. And it's now the Bruins are getting all the scoring chances. So it's funny how that one game I got really mad at, and now it's kind of flipped. And now the Bruins are getting the scoring chances, and the other team is not.
I saw the stats. Reggie Lemelin would be an all-star in your EMRHL with that 78 save percentage.
I think he's 0-3 right now, or 0-2, and Moog
he's terrible.
Moog's playing pretty well. Yeah, Lemelin's not playing well for me. We had a couple of games we collapsed playing that. It was kind of fun watching the collapse. I didn't mind the collapse. I did mind the game that we had a 5% scoring range chance, and they had a 50% scoring. That was
right.
Okay. Let's hope that's just an anomaly and it doesn't happen again. But it's
it should all even out over the course.
But it's funny that you were saying, well, that's going to happen to you one day, and it kind of is. This game I'm playing now, I'm through 2 periods, and it's all Boston. I mean, they're getting all the scoring chances and all the breaks, and it's just so now it's flipped around. So
we never remember the good things.
No, we don't. We focus on the bad things.
But we focus on right.
So
and it's just human nature. So
yeah, so that's kind of turned around. What else did I play? So I offline, I pulled out my 75 Cincinnati Reds and Strat PC baseball, and I played a game. And I'm like, why?
The wrong league, right?
Where can I find? I said, why can't I find the box score? It's like, why is this? Why is it that? Well, it turns out when I first started that replay, I was going to play the A's and the Reds, so I merged the leagues so I could play them together. And when I did this game, I pulled out just the 75 National League, and so I had only played 2 games in that one, so I played the wrong league. So when I went back to the leagues that were merged, it showed me the 8 games I had played. So I played a game for nothing because it doesn't count into the replay, because I've already played it. I was like, why am I playing the Dodgers again? That's why. So I pulled out the wrong season. Oh well. I've played some in the crease PC hockey. I played Gump Worsley's last game. It was the North Stars and the Flyers, a game that he actually lost. The Flyers won the Cup that year, so they went into Minnesota and they beat him up pretty good in that game. In my replay, the North Stars won, and Gump Worsley was number 1 star.
There you go.
How cool is that? It wasn't even a tribute game. It was just kind of a nod to him for his last game there. PC in the crease PC is really a good hockey game. It's a full hockey game. I really like that.
It shows you everything, and so you can visualize it
yes.
really well.
Yeah, and I know it's 20 seconds at a whack, but you still can feel the puck moving around a little bit. You really can, and I like how it's like there's corner battles and there's block shots and there's dump-ins, and you really get the full feel of a hockey game in that. I really do like that there. Let's see, what else and I actually pulled out Football Mogul 22, I think it was.
Last year's version. Right?
Last year's version. Football Mogul. And I played the 79 Buccaneers. So I started with week 1 against the Lions. That's a fun game. You just click on the play, see what happens. You can kind of mess around with it if you want, if you really want to dig in and move things around. It's basically it's a general manager game, but I just kind of coach and I let the the computer handle the other stuff there. But it is kind of fun. You just click on a play, see what happens. Click on another play. It's a fast play football game, and it's really fun. Not a lot of animation or anything like that, but it's a fun game. So I played some football. I think I did that at 10 a.m. one morning. I think it was 10 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me jump on and play some football. And we had a good crew on there watching that game. Fun game. Bucks. Doug Williams came in, drove the Buccaneers down to take the lead, but then Detroit went down and nailed the field goals kind of toward the end of the game to steal that one for Tampa Bay. But it was a close game, fun game. That's a fun game. I enjoy the football mogul.
I'm sure that in real life, the Lions were thrilled to go to Tampa in the first week of September.
Yeah.
That game actually was a night game, Saturday night.
Oh, was it?
First few years, because it was so hot and so close to August that they just played them at night. Because if you remember the old sombrero, there was no shade anywhere.
No.
Everyone was exposed.
Yep. I remember that. And I could never figure out, like, New England would always get down to Miami early in the season, and it'd be 100 degrees. And then Miami would come up in December when we had 6 feet of snow. And it's just like, why don't you flip them around? I mean, as much as I love seeing Miami sweat it out in the snow and can't make a play up here, it's just still not, it's just reverse it, I think it'd be the better way to go. I think they finally did, actually. It's just like baseball. You see baseball, it's like, why do they have opening day in Cleveland in early April? It's going to snow. It's like, come on.
Every once in a while, you can't all open up in the South.
No, I understand that. But just geographically speaking, it's like, no one's going to go to that game if it's snowing and it's cold out. It's like, come on. Anyway, well, some of our fans might. We have a couple of Cleveland fans that listen to the show.
We do.
They would be there.
We do.
Yeah, they would be there.
They would be there, especially if it was George Hendrick Day.
Yeah. And
Just
then
saying.
the last thing I was playing was right before the show. And I don't know what got me on this, but I've been in a golf mood because I think last week I played some of the History Maker golf. But I was looking at more of a dice rolling type of game, and I was looking at Appa and Tebow. Congratulations, Tebow, Jules Tebow, by the way.
Hall of Famer.
Appa Hall of Fame. Where is it? Right here. All right. Tebow going into the Apple Hall of Fame. He went to the convention there, and they inducted him. Congratulations to Jules Tebow, our buddy here. We had him on the show a few weeks ago, too. I don't even think he knew he was going in at that point there.
I don't think they tell the members who are alive that they're about to go in.
Nice. That was cool.
I think they tell the family members for those who passed on so they can make sure that they're there. But I think the ones that know they're going to be there, I think it's a surprise. I wanted to say, because I said this in my stream as well, there's a lot of times that we think we are our own islands in playing these games. And it's a very solitary effort, even if you're in a draft league. I mean, this is not something you can really share with a spouse or share with most of your buddies, because it's like, oh, yeah, so I had this, that, and the other thing happen. Like, okay, that's very nice. Good for you. Let's focus on reality here. I think, first of all, it's great that they're able to do a face-to-face convention this year, and that gamers are recognized for their efforts. But the fact that the game company recognizes gamers for their efforts, and I think Tebow, outside of his just being a friendly guy and showing off the Appa products on YouTube and such like that, I believe he and someone else brought football to a convention. Yeah. And I think they got people to play that. But for a game company to recognize its customers and say what your contribution to what we do is important. Thank you very much for a lifetime of service. Last year, our friend Appa Chatter, Steve, was inducted into the Apple Hall of Fame.
Fantastic.
And just that, I just think that is just the world's greatest thing that a company can do. It's like, thank you very much for not only being a good customer, but showing others the joys of our game.
Yes. Yep. No, it is. It's fantastic. I heard for Tebow up next, he was going to be on the DIY network, and they were going to show him how to organize stuff.
It's the first person ever to be inducted into a Hall of Fame and have a special episode of Hoarders dedicated to his
instead
honor.
of a cash prize, we're going to give you some organization lessons. We gave him so much crap that day. That was funny.
Congratulations for winning the free hour of Mary Maid.
He never worked. He never worked with the Dewey Decimal System. That guy, I can tell.
But congratulations, Tebow, on that honor. That is tremendous.
It was, yeah. So anyway, so I'm in a golf mood, getting back to where we were. And I went online, and he had a semi-new Appa golf video. And I was like, ooh. So I started watching that, and I started watching, I think it was Ron M. He does some golf videos too. And then somehow I stumbled on Dave S., and he was doing ASG golf, and they were really close to what Appa had. And,
yeah, they're pretty much the same games. Yeah. There's some differences.
And then I went over to the Replay Gamer, and he was doing some ASG golf, the print version. And I was like, wow. I says, holy cow, this is really intriguing here. And then you had done a lot of the PC with the
I did all 4 majors a couple of years ago,
and I remember you playing that and trying to explain it to me, but I didn't get it. But when I saw Dave and the Replay Gamer, and even ID Jester was playing some ASG golf on the tabletop, and they were showing the charts on the table and how everything worked, I was like, oh, I get it now. Now that I could see the chart, I could see what I'm looking for in a roll. So I have the demo for that. I never bought it on the PC version. And I started rolling my own dice today playing the demo, and I was having an absolute blast.
Yeah.
Because now I get what I'm looking for. Because before, when you were playing, you roll the dice, you see the animation. I'm like, that's great, but I don't know what this means. Now I have an idea what this means and what the shot's going to be when I roll, and the good rolls and the bad rolls. And that's what I wanted to see. Because like when I play Strat Baseball, and either I roll the dice or the game rolls the dice, I have a little pause because it shows you on the card what happened. So I can follow along, because I like to follow along. And then the animation happens. And I was like, that is fantastic. So if I can do that with golf, where I can roll the dice, that's going to be a good hit drifting to the right, but that, then see the animation to confirm what I thought. That's what I want to do. I don't want to just sit there and watch the animation. So I've been really, really enjoying that. So I watched a lot of your videos on the PC and the other guys on the cards and dice, and I have a pretty good idea what's going on in that game. So I think I'm going to pick up something with that this weekend.
Yeah, you got some good options available to you, whether you go with the traditional card and dice route or the PC.
Right. Yeah.
And again, they're similar games. I think if you get one and then go to the other, they're kind of interchangeable.
Yeah. Sometimes I really enjoy the PC, and sometimes I really enjoy the cards and dice. It's nice having both. So I don't know if I'll do both or not, or if I'll start with just one or the other. Whereas I've already played the PC game, I might stick with that. But so I've been in a golf mode, and after playing the
but don't hesitate. I mean, we looked at the price of Appa Golf today, and you can get for $45.
Yeah,
one course, cards of players that you know, and because now you have the table space to leave it set up. But just been kind of curious.
Yeah, I might look into that too. So that's basically what I've been doing over here. What have you been doing?
Let's see. So my 10-inning league, which I started, I did the Giants and the Yankees, and they played 3 in San Francisco and 3 in New York. And the first game of that was a tie. So the Giants took 4 out of 6. The Yankees took 1 at home. And
it does sound weird, a tie in baseball.
A tie in baseball, but every point's important. Every point's important. So the next series up was the Dodgers and the Red Sox. So the Dodgers stormed through the first 4. They swept the Red Sox in L.A., and then they got to Fenway, and the Dodgers won the first one at Fenway. And so in the 9th inning of the second game, Red Sox had the lead. Closer Matt Barnes blew it. So with 1 out, Alexander Bogaerts homered to tie the game, because we go on a 2-point system here. If you go to extra, it ties 1 point and it wins 2. So Red Sox tie the game in the bottom of the 9th. So we go to that bonus inning, and the Dodgers, I think, got a double. Somehow I walked the bases loaded. A couple of those were intentional because was 1 out, and I wanted to force at any base. And I'm doing this with roster card baseball. And so I got a double play reading, and is the infield in? Yeah, the infield is in. I can't really concede the run, and it was a 6-2-3 double play. Okay, so the Dodgers can't get anything out of that 10th inning. The Red Sox have stolen a point. So bottom of the 10th, 2 out, J.D. Martinez walks it off with a home run. The Red Sox stole those 2. And you could, in my head, you could see it. And earlier in the game, the Dodger pitcher had hit 2 Red Sox batters. Like, okay, so the place is tense and all that. And so, the Fenway would be going absolutely ape after that. And so the last game of that 6-game set at Fenway, the Red Sox put a 6 spot on the board in one of the innings. They had a double, a walk, and a 3-run homer, followed by another double walk and a 3-run homer. And I'm using the flipper on Lewis Research, does roster card baseball, and so it gives you
those are so handy.
It gives you the dice roll for the at bat. If it's an extra base hit chance, then you get a secondary dice roll there. You get a throw. If you're trying to seal, it gives you a jump. It tells you what the runner should do. It really just makes that game so easy to play. And that's what I was looking for, something I could play in 20, 30 minutes. So I played those 2 games in an hour. I haven't done the stats for it yet. So the Red Sox are not going to be in the cellar because, you could see the momentum building after the walk-off miracle the night before. They pounded the Dodgers in the last game of that series. So that's that. My next series is Tampa and the White Sox. And then the last 2 teams to finish that first week, Milwaukee and Houston, the 2 teams that you can interchange leagues with. So because it's the top 8, sorry, Braves fans, there are 5 American League teams, 3 in the same division, Tampa, Boston, and New York, and 3 in the National League. So but that's been fun. I've really enjoyed that. And keeping track of the stats myself, again, I think that's an experience that if you haven't done it yet, you should. Get out of your comfort zone. And again, this was Tebow inspired me to do something like this, although he didn't specifically say it. Pulled out Strat Hockey, which is going to be on sale through noon on Friday. So if you're listening after Friday the 1st, it's no longer on sale. And so I did. Last Sunday, I played the next game. I played 55 games in that replay. And if you're concerned about needing to get your replays done in a certain time, don't. I think I started this one a while ago. I play 5 or 6 and I'll put it away, and then play 5 or 6 and put it away. And so I pulled it out. So that's what I want to talk about, because on Sunday, because I didn't stream anything, I did something that I've never consciously done before.
Okay.
I played all 4 major sports in one day.
That's cool.
I did the middle 2 games of that Dodgers Red Sox series, so one in LA and one in Boston, and obviously the Dodgers won that. And I pulled out Strat Basketball, and I played the Celtics-Knicks Christmas Day 85 game, and Patrick Ewing was the only one that didn't get coal on their stocking for the Knicks. Celtics pounded them. And so by evening time, I pulled out Strat Hockey, and I played the Islanders and the Penguins. And it's the first time the Islanders had beaten the Penguins, and had some cool things happen in that one. I was telling you about the matching penalties, but one was a 5 and the other was a 2. So that was pretty rare. Kind of goes into the
that was topic. A weird one, yeah.
That was a weird one. And normally when, we've all talked about if you got the goal chance or the home run chance on the 1-18 or 1-19 and you roll the 20, and it's taken away, or you roll the blue die and replay basketball, and it's a layup 1-5 and 6 is a block. You roll the 7, it's a block, and you fall out. That sort of thing. So I forgot who had the goal in this. I showed it to you. It was a goal on a 1 or a 2 on a 20-sided die, and the D20 was a 1 or 2. So it's a goal.
Yeah.
One of those, So here's the bad result. Like, oh, he scored. How about that?
Yep.
And then I pulled out, and I said, I've played all 3. I've played 3 of the 4. Let's pull out some football. So for whatever reason, I pulled out the 73 Bengals because Kenny Anderson was my favorite quarterback growing up.
Okay.
It's not Phil Simms, ever. Kenny Anderson was my favorite quarterback growing up. So 73, the Bengals actually won the division. I went down to Miami and got beaten badly in the playoffs. So they played their opening day game against Denver in Denver. Denver wasn't very good. And Anderson threw for 260 yards, and the Bengals won.
Nice.
They had 2 running backs that nearly had 1,000 yards. Not Anderson. I forget his last name.
Otis Anderson?
No, Essex.
Oh, okay.
Is his first name. But the other running back has a name that no guy would ever forget. First name is Booby. Booby Clark. And that team was, the offensive coordinator was Bill Walsh. And so the first implementation of the West Coast offense was around that era. It basically was, my running backs are going to be able to catch balls.
Nice.
That was the primary running team. So, yeah, on that Sunday, I went around the world. I played all 4 major North American sports.
That's cool.
In one day. And all my teams won. Now, granted, I played, the only one I didn't use AI for was Denver in the football game, because in Strat, I always play both teams. But the Celtics won, the Islanders won, and in the baseball, I really didn't care. It was cool when the Red Sox came back the next time to win those 2. But
right.
But yeah, so that was pretty cool.
I think the only time I did something like that was in 2020 when the rink was shut down. I was home every day.
Sure.
I did some golf, some baseball. I think I did some wrestling, probably hockey, and then I played a spaceship game, all on the table. And I was like, well, I got all my 5 games lined up today. That's what I can do today. And
sometimes you just got to do that. I always envy the people I see. Oh yeah, the wife was gone, grandkids were with her, and and so I was by myself. Some people go fishing and stuff like me on the computer, and I rolled 13 games of Apple today. Like, oh my god. So last Saturday, I went to do another video on answering some questions using the fishing game I have on the computer, and my GPU overheated.
Oh boy.
So I thought I finished the video and uploaded it, and it crashed, and you got to move stuff and try to cool the computer down, but it had overheated before my computer crashed, and so it corrupted the video.
So something fishy was going on?
Something fishy, yes.
Oh,
yes,
man.
Something fishy was going on.
You, did you already buy the game? Are you on the hook for it? Oh.
No. So Todd B, your guest host next week. So I got to redo some of that video. And the 85 baseball replay has reached August 18th, Sunday the 18th, and because I'm on vacation from live streaming next week, that's on vacation too. So we have 7 weeks left to go, and the American League races are both tight. And the Expos had the chance to really put the screws to the Cardinals to make the National League East race tight. But St. Louis took 2 out of 3 in St. Louis, and so the spread is 8. Not impossible with 40-some-odd games to go, but the Expos missed their best chance to do something. And so that's pretty much what I've been playing. But, yeah, the Around the World, or the tour of the All Four, didn't intend to start that way. But when I realized that all I had left was football, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, why not? No, round them out. Have fun there. All right, so should we get to the topic of the day?
Yes.
Okay, so rare plays. They happen in a lot of our games. Sometimes it's a roll of the dice or a flip of the card, and you got to go to a separate chart. Sometimes they're baked into the game. And so we wanted to talk about that this week. Should we go right to the comments and talk about some of the comments and comment on the comments?
Yeah,
and then,
sure.
Then we can give our thoughts? All right, so let's do that. All righty, so we asked that on a couple of groups on Facebook, and we got some answers here, so we'll start right with that. Ron replies, not this Ron, but a different Ron replies, rare plays happen in real life, so I think they should be part of sports games.
Okay.
Yep, I agree with that. Todd replies, it brings realism to the game. Yep, I think it does. David, not me, a different David, replies, agree that it adds realism to the game. Earlier this week, I was 1 out from a no-hitter when a batter hit a comebacker to the mound that deflected off the pitcher's arm into foul territory. No-hitter gone, and the pitcher was out for a week. Now that's a rare play. That's a killer.
I hope that was a computer game because I could see the holes in the wall where the dice went.
Yeah.
Right.
I got one time. I got to the last I got 2 outs away. I was 1 out away from no hitter myself. I didn't even realize it. It was Jim Palmer, and a guy singled, and I went, "Holy cow! That's the first hit of the game. I can't believe it. I almost had a no hitter." And that was like one of my first. I think it was one of my first APA games I ever did too. That was kind of crazy. Craig replies, "First roll of a baseball game I was playing yesterday. Possible rain out, but the roll missed, and it was just clouds rolling in. Very cool for the first roll of the game." Jeff replies, "I enjoy when a rare play pops up in a game, adds flavor to whatever we may be playing."
Okay.
George replies, "I just had a doozy in my 77 Phil's Giants game." Didn't say what it was, but he said he had a doozy of a rare play.
A doozy.
Doozy, yeah. Marty replies, "Love the new payoff pitch rare play charts. Just posted a rare play event on the payoff pitch community site." Okay, so I heard that Joe was doing something with the payoff pitch. He was revamping a few
Hopefully
things.
Joe's feeling better. He's been under the weather for a little bit, too.
Yeah. Yes. Let's hope Joe gets better. George replies, "I love the rare crazy plays. The only ones I ignore are the more than one game injuries." So he doesn't like
I think that, yeah.
the injuries there. The only other rare play I ignored once was in the second inning. I had a rain out. Don, if I was going to call that game off after I drew up the lineup to get everything ready. And that's one thing. I will talk about rain outs when we get to that. John writes in, "I like them if they are truly rare and don't come up every game." Yes, I will talk about that as well. Doug comments, "Rare bizarre plays typically involve an injury. I don't think I found a game, typically baseball, that has a realistic injury algorithm." Alan writes in, "I am all for them. They do happen." And then Justin says, "It's all part of any game that you will enjoy playing." So the consensus, at least from this group of people here on Facebook, was they do enjoy them. But again, it really depends on what they are.
So I'm going to be the contrarian here.
Okay.
And say I don't like them. In card and dice, especially.
Okay.
In Action PC, which I think we're going to talk about a little bit later, I think they are well done in there to a point. One of the commenters talked about, I've got my lineup sheets filled out, and then I had the rain out roll. And that would be one that I would immediately ignore. I think a lot of, I don't know what Joe did in his new rare play chart. I just find them to be, I mean, yes, you want them to happen, I guess, to some degree. But if I've taken the time to set something up to play, and you get the rain out or the suspension or what have you, that's not why I'm playing the game.
Right. Yeah.
I don't need to have that just because, if you get a runner picked off base, or if you make an error, or if you give yourself 4 outs in an inning or whatever, I really just want to play the game.
I would agree on the rainouts in baseball, or the only time I would be okay with that is if you got a rare play and it said, if you are beyond the whatever how many innings it takes to constitute a real game. Okay. If you are,
if it's an official game.
If it's an official game, like game is rained out right now, or finish the inning and then the game gets rained out or something like that, then I would go with that. But just, you get everything set up, you take all the time to get it rolling, and you're in the first or second inning and you got to stop the game. It's like, no.
Now, so no, when I'm doing a card and dice thing, I just play the game, because that's, not saying that rare plays are wrong, but that's just the way that I want to play it. If I've taken the time to set this up, we're playing it through. Mm-hmm. And if I want to do some sort of mercy rule or something crazy happens with the dice results, that's fine. But I don't want to make more work for myself. Having said that, I think 90% of the time in Action PC, when they have a rare play came up, and you had the ultimate doozy, the lights went out for you in a hockey rink.
Yeah. Now that's a rare play. That's
a rare.
It was interesting. It didn't really affect the game that I know of. I mean, everybody went to 100% full health after that because of full whatever energy, because there was the rest. But something like that, it doesn't affect the game. It's just kind of window dressing and storyline type of thing.
Yeah.
And I was fine with it, and I enjoyed it, and I'm glad I got it on tape, and it was really kind of funny to happen. It's never happened since. But when I think about something like would I want that in a cards and dice game? I mean, it just what would that really accomplish? I'd have to sit here for 30 seconds and twiddle my thumbs and then stop playing again. I mean,
well, I could see though in the third period and with a couple minutes to go, and you got players that are really tired, and you've already burned the timeout. I could see where free from the governor type stuff there.
Yeah.
In my action PC replays, I have rain delays checked because you can uncheck them too, but I don't have rain outs checked. And so it does change the strategy if you have a 2-hour rain delay and your pitcher's gone. I don't think it happens too much, but I have seen scoreboard malfunctions and doing a tournament game, I had a disturbance in the stands that delayed the game for 20 minutes. Because why should the Astrodome or a dome stadium be any different from anything else?
Yeah.
I've had recently I've had the inside the park home run. Those are cool. Ground rule doubles. Those are all part of the game. But so I think it does it well because it's super rare, and it's also intertwined in with the game itself. I don't have to do the extra work to say, okay, roll this, roll that, roll the other thing to get it. But I think it depends on what I'm doing, and I'm much more open when the computer's doing all the work for me to say this happened as opposed to doing all the work itself. But primarily when I'm, if I've taken the time to do the work, there are in the classic Formula One game which I played, it's possible on the rare play chart for the driver to die. And I've seen replays where the driver was permanently finished, died. And again, your game, your rules. It's not something I'd ever do, but the possibilities there. And again, not to be morbid about it, because it's car racing. You're driving something at a high rate of speed.
And it's rare.
in a bathtub full of gas. Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen? Not how I play it, but they did, and I understood why they did. Hopefully this doesn't get us demonetized on YouTube. But yeah, so no, for me, again, going through the trouble of setting up a card and dice, whether it's a car race or that, I'm there to watch. I'm there if I'm going to redo the event. I'm redoing the event.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I think that I enjoy them if they add to the game, if it adds to my experience and doesn't take away from my experience. And having that rain out early in the game takes away from my experience. It doesn't add to it. And on the computer would be one thing. Okay, can we just go to the next game or whatever? But setting up on the table, I think is, and I think maybe that's something to talk about too. Is that the differences between a rare play on the computer and a rare play on the tabletop? Because again, a rain out on the tabletop and a rain out on the computer can be handled two different ways. In the computer, okay, fine, go to the next game. I'll come back to that one. In the tabletop, man, I just set this up. But for me, it has to add to the game. And it was like John that said, I like them if they are truly rare and they don't come up every game. I would add to that I don't want to go to the rare chart, and I won't mention any games, but I've gone to rare charts in the past with, okay, rare play, roll the dice, here's what happens, go to this chart, find this, find that, and the other thing, and it's something that just normally happens in the game. How is that a rare play if it's something that can happen in standard gameplay? So it's like, no, that's not a rare play, and I just wasted my time looking at this chart. There's been other times where right off the bat something happens, and I go follow along, and it's like, that was such a useless rare play. It was useless. It added nothing to the game. It didn't add to the storyline. It was just kind of stupid. It was there for the sake of being there, and just I don't know what it added to the game. And I've had that in a handful of situations where the rare plays can be very hit or miss. The rare play can just be a normal play. There's a hockey game that, okay, a rare play, it's a penalty shot, but he misses. Well, I don't get to do anything with that. I can write it down. I can log it in as a penalty shot, but I don't get to roll the dice for it because he missed. or something happens in baseball and it's just, well, that was just whatever, Okay, he fouled it off and the catcher went in the stands and spilled somebody's drink. Great. Let's go to the next pitch. So it has to add to the game. It's got to enhance my game. It's got to be something that can really happen. That's the other thing. It's got to be something that can really happen. That rare play that was talked about, let me see. Who was it that said that? It was David.
With the injury?
David, yeah. Well, he's got a no-hitter going, and it hits the pitcher and goes into foul territory, so it's a hit, and the no-hit is gone and the pitcher's hurt. That is an excellent example of a rare play that works. Is because you can see that happening, and it is rare. So not only did he the ball hit him and he it's a hit, he's hurt, and that does happen. It's rare, but it happened. That is an excellent example of a rare play.
Inside the park home run, I had one a few weeks ago. Ricky Henderson hit one in New York. He's with the Yankees in my '85 replay. So he hits an inside the park home run. I don't remember the last time I had inside the park home run. That's the type of things that I want to see. It adds to it. The first of the two Cardinal Expo games that I did this week, I had 2 ground rule doubles. Again, I don't think I've ever seen one, but the wall is the right height because you have to tell it the height when you put together the stadium pictures and all that. And St. Louis at Busch Stadium in '85 was that hard artificial surface.
Yep.
And so you hit the right way. It's going to take the bounce over the wall. I mean, those are the type of things.
Yeah.
As you said. Add to the game.
Add to the game. Don't make it something that can happen in the game. You go through all this. You check the chart. You roll. You do this. You roll again, and it's just a whistle or foul ball or something. It's like all that for nothing, basically for nothing. So rare plays, they have to add to the game. They have to be truly rare, and I feel like they should have some kind of an impact on the game, even just a small impact on the game. Like that pitcher getting hurt, that's a big deal. The inside the park home run, that's a big deal. I think in one of the games, one of the hockey games, it's if the guy scores, then he gets they get another chance to score back-to-back goals in 10 seconds. That's a truly rare play, but it can happen. So it's like if this guy scores, then somebody else scores 10 seconds later, and that's a truly rare play. But you can get back-to-back goals, it's rare.
And you want to be realistic,
yeah. And in Hockey Bones, it's kind of baked into Hockey Bones, and most of it is injuries. But if you roll on the blue die, I think it's a 3, and then you got to roll a 12, so you got to roll 2 6s on the white die, and then the red die is a 1. It's a goalie injury, or it's a goalie injury check.
Right
now, that's 4 dice that have to come up exact for that to happen.
That's pretty rare.
So in that situation, that's a very rare play. And then I think you still check. You have an injury roll to see if he's injured or not. I have to go back and check that out. But that's the only way the goalie really gets hurt is if he rolls. And I've rolled that twice. I've played so many games now and so many rolls of hockey. I've hit that twice already where I've done the goalie injury check.
That is pretty rare, yeah.
But that's the only way that can happen. And it's baked into the game. And like that's and as much as I hate injuries and I don't want to take the goalie out, if I roll 4 dice exact, you almost have to honor that.
Yeah.
Like I don't like to play injuries, but I had to honor that and say, boy, oh boy, that's not like a 7 or an 8. That's 4 dice rolling exact, and it's picking the 3 dogs that come in order. So I go with that, and I'm like, okay, so we're going to consider that an injury and the whole bit, So I'm okay with stuff like that if it's that rare, especially on a dice roll or a card flip or something like that.
Yeah. When you have something that's kind of baked in on the dice roll. I mean, in strat baseball, pitcher injuries on a 6-12 roll with DH. And so, because pitchers don't bat, and so if you're playing with injuries in strat baseball, that's how it's done on an opponent's 6-12 roll or something rare where you got to roll on the chart for that, or balks, wild pitches, past balls are baked in. On the computer, those are rolls that you don't see, but on the tabletop, you're rolling that D20 to start. And those I would consider rare plays because they're not something that can happen in any given situation, but do. Also, the rare triple play roll. The play result number in APA is 40, I think 42, 41, 42. So one of them is hit by pitch, and the other one is line out max. And in Strat, you can have it too, line out max.
Yep.
And so you got nobody out, you got 2 runners on. Guess what? It's a triple play, and it's you're not referring to the chart, and I think people. You want the chance of something that, anything could happen. Maybe it's that guy that couldn't hit the home run and, it's a home run, regardless of whether they hit one or not. But I think people try to get a little too excited about things. And again, if you're making me do all the work to get that result for it's a strike or again, I'm not a huge fan of delays in the game. I think Action PC does it well. But yeah, but you're talking about the injury rule there, and it has to be exact. Well, yeah, okay, if you hit it, you hit it. And I'll abide by it. But I think especially in cards and dice, I think it's up to you, the gamer, to see, is it worth the work to do? Now, some people really want all those bells and whistles to go through, and others, you have the option. I just don't want it to feel silly.
Yeah. Yep. I remember when I was working with John Kay on Shootout Hockey EZ, and if you roll 100 on the 2d10s, which is 1 out of 100, it's kind of a rare play. It's an optional thing, but it's rare. And we went back and forth for a couple of weeks on that rare chart. He's like, "What do you think of this?" And I was like, "Well, I like this, but I don't like that," or "How about this?" or "How about that?" And to a point that if you got that was rare, you had a chance at adding a goal or losing a goal because you roll period by period in the Shootout EZ, or a chance of I think upping your shooting range or lowering the goalie's range or something like that. Hot goalie, cold goalie, things like that. You just had a chance at, and a lot of the Downey games do that too. It's you get that extra die or whatever it is, and it's okay. So now you check this chart over here and increase your. Instead of rolling off a D, you're going to roll off of H now, so you get a better chance of getting some runs or goals or whatever. And so those are kind of neat, too. You get that rare roll and it bakes it in. APA Baseball, I think, baked in an injury one time in basic mode. I think somebody got hurt or got thrown out of the game in basic mode, and I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, I've never seen that. Triggers that. It depends on the chart that you're looking at.
Yeah, it was like, that's only happened once. I was like, holy cow, guy's thrown out of the game. How cool is that? And that was just in basic, and there's no rare chart for that. So sometimes they bake in something like that, and it comes up once in a while, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want it to be ground ball to third, throw to first all the time, or whatever. I mean, there's a good way to bake that stuff in. Roberto Schiavini's games, a lot of his games, if you roll snake eyes or double sixes, it triggers the rare play thing.
Yeah.
You go back a column, which could be good, or forward a column, which could be good, depending on
I remember
game.
the golf game I played, the Schiavini golf game. It was the Heroes of the Majors or something like that.
Right.
And I was playing that one time, and I got a hole in one. It was a par 3, and I rolled really low or whatever it was, and it's like, go to the next chart, and it's like, okay, you're 2 under par. Well, 2 under par from a 3 is a hole in one. And so that was kind of neat. And then I did it for somebody else, and I rolled on the other chart, and it's just like, I think he was 5 over for the hole. So it was a par 3. He got an 8 on a par 3. And that is very believable stuff that happens. You can
dunk it in the water, sure.
Dunk it in the water, shoot it across the green, 3-putt, and you got your snowman. And so, yeah, sometimes those things work out really well. And I'm glad that those things are in the game, because those enhance the game. Going pa, birdie, birdie, pa, birdie, birdie is boring. But you get that crazy roll, and you're like, okay, something funky's happening on this roll. And that same thing happens in the like the History Maker golf from play. I was playing one time, and the guy was kicking butt. He was, up 3 or 4 strokes, cruising down the back 9, and he sliced his ball, and he hit a fan, and he was all disturbed for hitting the fan, and he was cold the rest of the game, and he double bogeyed the hole, and it wrecked his day. And that absolutely can happen, and that was a rare play that come up. You had to get so many dice rolls in a row for that to happen, and I thought that was pretty cool. I did, because it brought in a human element to it, not just a crazy. There's a human element to that, and it really it completely changed the rest of the event. I guess we were just going to wrap this up by saying that, it sounds like everyone's okay with rare plays in the community, or at least the people that responded here. It sounds I'm okay with them, but it depends on what they are and how it affects the game. It has to add to the game. It can't waste my time. Is basically what it comes down to. If it's going to be something that's going to waste my time, then why bother?
And I think for me, it depends on how am I playing a game. The more work I use to set something up to go, the less likely I'm going to go through and say to shut something down.
Yeah.
Because my head's already into what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And so, but again, I want, as you described with the hockey bones injury, look, if you hit that 1 in 1,000 chance of that happening, I'm not going to ignore it because it really is a rare play.
Yes. Yeah.
So
for me, and I think the consensus, amongst communities, that we like the rare plays if they add to the game. We don't want it just to go to the rare play chart and spend all that time there to get just something normal. We want it to really be rare, out of the ordinary. I would rather have a small rare play chart of truly rare events than a big shot that you go to and it's something that can just happen in the game. Left wing gets the puck. After all that, just give the puck to the left wing. That can happen during the game. I don't need to go to the rare play chart.
Right, right.
A single. It hits the third baseman, the second baseman, the first baseman, goes into the right field for a single. Just call it a single.
I believe in a major game company that shall not be named. That's what happens on a 5-roll on someone's super advanced fielding chart. Again, not going to mention the name, but that's, you get the first roll and then you roll the 3d6, and if it's a 5, hits the pitcher's bat. Again, Strat, I'm not going to mention the name. Sorry.
Yeah, but just call it a single. I mean, have something really weird. If somebody, like I said, gets hurt, that can be a rare play, or something like that, or just I want it to enhance the game, and I think that's what everybody wants to. And I think they are necessary because we play all these games, and once in a while, again, make it rare. Have the rare play to come in and have something happen rare once in a while to add some spice to it. But again, we don't want it all the time, and we don't want just boring rare plays. So anyway, before we wrap it up, should we get to our 3 stars of the week? Alrighty. So our first star. Actually, we go back. We go in no particular order, by the way. Again, as we order, so yes. For episode 141, our third star is Andrew Rothman.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Andrew, for supporting the show.
He's playing a lot of different stuff right now, too.
I saw that. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Our second star of the week is one of our newer Patreon, Ledman Smith.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Smith, for supporting the show. And our number 1 star in episode 141 is James Marshall.
Woohoo, Jamie. Jamie's a regular at lunch on my baseball streams.
Fantastic. Thank you for supporting to everyone, all our Patreons that support Digital Dice. And we're scheduled to record the June Patreon event. Hopefully we will get it in June. If not, it'll be early July. With the holiday here, things are messed up.
It would have to be today because today's the last day of June.
Well, it might be early July then. COVID backed us up a little bit with that, but we do want to get something special in, again, for you guys, for the Patreon people there. And we'll send you the link in Patreon. It's a private link, so you can go check out the video that we do. So anyway, so that is that. So let's wrap up episode 141. Here we go.
Woohoo!
By the numbers, episode 141 of the Digital Dice podcast. We recorded this on June 30th of 2022. It's 78 degrees and sunny here. I don't know where it is where you What is it over there?
It's about that. I mean, it's a drop dead gorgeous.
It's really nice. Tad hot. Tomorrow's going to be roasting. That's why we recorded today. Anyway, ways to get a hold of us. DigitalToDice.com is the website. 978-751-DICE is the dice line. DigitalToDice@yahoo.com is the email. And over on Facebook, Facebook.com/groups/DigitalToDice. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And thank you to our Patreons who are helping us, keeping us going here. Boy, we got 141 shows now that we're parking over there on Spreaker.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
But when we check the statistics once in a while, people go back and listen to the old shows. We want to keep those up as long as we can. We really, really do. So anyway, it's your support that helps us pay those bills. So thank you so much. Ron, thanks for joining me.
As always.
What are you going to be playing?
What am I going to be playing? I'm playing Vacation.
Oh, that's right. You're taking some time off.
Taking some time off, so some fireworks and the wifey's birthday. And,
now, I heard you. Are you the guy that lights the fireworks? Are you the guy that lights them?
No. Boom. It didn't improve my looks at all.
I can just picture the cartoon with like the face is all black and the hair's all short out.
Yeah, well, there's not much hair left anyway, but yeah. No, we do them the night before, so the smaller towns can do them on the 4th. So we always do ours on the 3rd. And there's a barge because I'm on Lake Champlain. And so there's a specialized barge that comes up. I'm not sure where it's stored the rest of the year, if it's the city owns it or the fireworks company owns it. But they come up and they shoot them off the lake. So if you're facing the lake, you can see the fireworks. It's very nice.
Oh, sweet.
It's about a half-hour show, about 9:30 Sunday night here.
Oh,
so yeah, I'll be doing some things while I'm on vacation. But yeah, this is a scheduled, non-COVID scheduled vacation week.
Fantastic. All right. Yeah. We'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.